Welcome to the front porch, where we're shooting the breeze, podcast style, with Savannah's top thinkers and biggest barrier breakers, the quintessentially quirky and the perpetually hip.
Welcome to the front porch. My name is Carolyn, and I'm with the Creative Coast, and today we are chatting it up with Kristen Baird.
Hello.
Hi,
I'm excited to be here.
So tell us about your company, Kristen Baird Designs.
So my company, like she said, is Kristen Baird Designs. I started back in 2013, went to SCAD, graduated, and decided to begin my own business. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, so that was the perfect segue into finding my perfect career, I would say. So
Cool.
Nowadays, I specialize in custom jewelry and production jewelry in basically fine metals with sterling silver, platinum, gold, and gemstones. So.
Cool. So as I understand it, you do a lot of your production in-house, like
Yes.
by hand. So can you tell us a little bit about that process and what like a piece of handmade jewelry can bring for someone?
Absolutely. So everything, like you said, is done here in Savannah. We start with the design phase, whether it be a custom piece or a production piece. We begin by doing sketching, ideation, designs, pulling inspiration, and from there we move on to more of a logistical preview of what the piece might be. So maybe design plans, 3D models, which is most people don't realize goes into an actual piece of jewelry that you might wear. From there we go into sourcing the materials. We source ethical, mostly recycled metals, and we source stones from different vendors throughout the country that work with ethically resourced or ethically found materials. And then we start making. So we've got two ways that we go. Either hand fabricate, which is how all the masters previously have done it, or we go into CAD design, where we're usually utilizing computer-aided modeling and systems like Rhino and Matrix to bring the design to life. So we get to show renderings and then go into prototyping. So that's one of the really fun parts of the process, is utilizing these newer methods along with traditional methods to create a custom piece. So and then becomes the hand finishing and the final presentation.
Yeah, that's awesome. So have you actually presented your jewelry to someone in person before? What did that feel like?
It's always a fun process. One of my favorite parts of any project, especially, is the delivery, specifically with engagement rings, because I meet up with usually the guys, and they get all jittery, they open the box, and then they get all nervous and they get excited. So it's always a good feeling when you've been working on a piece for so long to see it come to life, and then to see. I get text messages from my clients, I proposed, here's the proposal picture, and that's always so much fun to see the end result. And that's something that you don't get necessarily with a box store, a retailer that's, dealing in larger quantities of pieces that aren't necessarily custom. So
yeah, sure. So when did you first start making your own jewelry?
When I came to SCAD, I started in architecture and interior design, and I did that for 3 years. And I got tired of not really making things, so I tried a jewelry elective, and that was in 2012. And at that point, I decided that jewelry was my thing. So, it's been a long process of going through the training and learning the skills, and but it's been so much fun. And every year, basically, have been continuing my education. Even though I've gotten the college degree, I've continued going to other places and learning new skills. So it always keeps things moving.
Yeah, so what's something exciting in the jewelry world that's going on that most people don't know about?
I would say a lot of, I guess for us specifically, an emphasis when the economy went down, an emphasis was starting to be placed on maybe recycling jewelry. So one thing that we really love now is people bring in their old pieces, or grandmother's ring that's missing a stone, or missing pair of earrings or whatever, and we redesign. So it's a new thing that's been done for a while, but now that people are looking back at what they have and how can you reincorporate things and continue with the memories, that's what we've been doing. And it's been a lot of fun to be a part of those stories and hear the history and enjoy that aspect, but then see something that a person will wear now and enjoy instead of having it sitting there. So that's been a big one for us in recycling and reusing things.
Wow, very cool. So What do you get a lot of your inspiration from for your jewelry?
So most of my inspiration comes from nature and memories and experiences, very much experience-based. We pull a lot from just colors, and you travel to the ocean and you hear the sounds and you see the rhythm and you see the textures and colors, and we pull just random tidbits from things like that. So,
yeah. Have you designed a Savannah-specific piece of jewelry yet?
I have done actually a little, of all things, a little charm that I did using the CAD design to create the actual outline of the city, and then utilize that. So that was one of my Savannah pieces, but there's a lot of other pieces that are just inspired by the ironwork and by the ocean and by the flowers, a lot of floral aspects.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. That's really awesome. So it seems like a lot of your work is done really sustainably, like sourcing different materials. Would you mind talking a little bit about that and like keeping jewelry local?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the things that we do is, finding when people do bring us their jewelry back, we're able to use the materials and we're able to put them into new pieces, which becomes less of getting materials shipped in. You're using more things locally. You're using what the person already has, which helps with the budget, which is always nice. And then within our own studio practices, we do our recycling, our sourcing from places as local as possible for packaging materials and things of that nature. So there's always a thought of how to better contribute to the future by not really trashing now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely an important thing to think about, especially
absolutely
with the sustainability initiative and everything. So I guess just what has surprised you about your journey so far?
I would say the biggest thing that has surprised me is a pleasant surprise of how supportive everybody has been. Because my journey has been through a lot of different ways, but I was planning to move home after I graduated from SCAD, and I spent about 6 months here in between and fell in love with the city and with the arts community that SCAD helps with, but that Savannah really has created. And that was one of the main draws for me was, these people are so supportive, and that's one of the reasons that I'm here, and one of the reasons that I have my own business is because everybody has been so encouraging and motivating, and finding people everywhere. So it's been a very good place for me to start my business.
Awesome.
So.
All right, so what's next for you? What's next along the next year, 2 years?
Well, we have a lot of things in progress. There's always new collections. We're expanding the brand to Charleston and working on stepping our way up.
Sure.
Basically up the coast and across the world and across the country. But we are entering into some new ventures with actually somebody you've already talked to, Elvane or Elva, and her Eva Design House. So we're excited about that, and a couple other local new things going on. But mainly for us, we're in a process of growing and adding more interns and finding SCAD students to continue, mentoring and turning them into our own little team of excited, jewelers.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
All right, well, for everyone listening in, thank you so much, and thank you, Kristen, for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.